I loved and I was very proud of playing for England. Not necessarily did I enjoy going away with England because it was difficult when you're fighting each other on a Saturday afternoon, and then you, especially your Man Uniteds, and at the time you had Forest with Cloughys and Stuart Pearce and Desi Walkers and stuff. So the rivalry is intense, and then you meet up on a Sunday and you seem a little bit segregated, you know.
I think it, you know, you're right about that. It took far too long to dissipate that kind of, not animosity, but hey, let's put our swords down.
Or professional head on,
It took too long. I think other countries kind of break that barrier down very, very quickly. And I just think sometimes you've got that. There's loads of other things. They've got that. I think it's also, I've been in competition when you have one or two guys of the press just totally focuses on them.
That's England though. And England is so intense, you know.
No. But I think it should be balanced, and I think that should be taken away, and it should be more of a team. I think if they'll, you know, and also getting the right manager in place over the period of time, you know, you know, the choices will kind of, you know, for me wasn't the right choices. Some of the managers, I think that kind of personality, choosing the right manager and getting the philosophy out has contributed to, and also bad decisions. You know, I've played in a couple of competitions when I've had really bad decisions against me. You know, scoring goals, and who knows, you might have got knocked out the next round. Who knows? But you never know. At least you go to the next round, and there's a different kind of future, different outcome. But I think some of the other countries just have, certain countries like Brazil have their way of playing, Germany have their way of playing, and they don't change.
But I mean,
Italy,
just about being part of the squad. What I know from my experience, that the squads and the players I played with at club level used to love and couldn't wait to go away with their international squads because they used to relax and have a good time. I didn't feel that way. I thought it was under pressure, very intense, and the rivalry was there. But Republic of Ireland, for argument's sake, they couldn't wait to leave. They wanted to be away for 10 days or so, and they would have a real good time, and they'd treat it as their second club. But I don't think England players do that. I
was quite, you know, I had a decent time there. I love playing for England, but I even felt, you know, you did have that to break down the barriers. I thought, you know, the Liverpool and Man United scenario, it took too long to break down. Too long. And that while that's slowly trying to break down, you know, I think that little 2%, 5% taken off your game makes a difference in the end.
Plus the media is very difficult, different to anywhere else.
I think
when England
I think now they've backed off. I think as a you know, when I've seen England over the last, say, 8 years, the press have backed. They're nowhere near scrutinising players. I think they should scrutinise players. I think in an intelligent way, not in a nasty way. And that is not even happening now because they're so scared of like analysing someone's game in an international tournament that's gone horribly wrong. I think it's fair to kind of say, hey, look at this guy, you know, let's kind of, you know, in an intelligent way, I'm not kind of, you know, slating him, but these things happen. What are you going to do about your game, please? But that is not even happening now. I think that's good for players.
Isn't that down to the manager to do that?
Yeah, but I think even the press-wise, I think if it's gone horribly wrong, I think you should give a pressure in the right areas. I think now, it was one way when I was playing, now it's gone completely the other way. It's almost they don't want to even mention someone's played a bad game. And that, I think that, you know, there is a weird kind of thing going on in the media-wise that I think, you know, it's the pressure was on players too much back in the days. That's why they couldn't perform. Now the pressure is way off and they still can't perform.
Well, media have the favourites as well, don't they? They try to influence managers. I know they did when I was in the squads.
They still
tried to. Yeah, they still tried to. You'd have a good month, say, for argument's sake, in your Premier League side, and all of a sudden they're clamouring for you to be in the England team, and you've got to let the manager deal with that rather than the press force the issue. and I think that's been happening too much for me.
And I think with England, as I said, choosing the right manager and not allowing individuals to take over competition.
Is Gareth the right manager?
I think Gareth is the right manager for now. He's in the right place at the right time. You know, when you look at his CV, he's not a guy who's done domestic football, done really well. You know, he's the first one to admit that, and maybe that's it happened for him to kind of fill the gap, and it's just the right place, right man, right place to take on the job. You know, who knows in the future? They're definitely going to look for someone else.
Yeah. Was Big Sam the man? Very unfortunate for whatever reason. Sam being foolish or being set up, regardless. Would Sam have been a good England manager?
For me, there's no difference in a sense between Sam and Harry Redknapp. They have just employed a guy who is a northern version of Harry Redknapp, and Harry Redknapp should have got the job. Obviously, there's a few things happen, and you know he didn't even get through the door.
Yeah.
Sam got through the door, and then I think he was just unfortunate how it all kind of panned out. How circumstances went against him, how people manipulated things, how maybe his own judgment was a little bit off, and it just contributed, and then it's a feeding frenzy, and then it's all over.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, isn't it? Because that's what happens.
I'd like to see what he could have done. And that's how obviously Gareth got the job by default.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he wouldn't have got it in normal circumstances. No. So he stuck with the tried and trusted, and that's what they've got. So, yeah, very, very interesting.